Gentlemen, today we're showing you 10 ways to get any girl to fall in love with you fast. If you've been with us for a while, you know every trick to get a girl to talk to you, how to get her attention, and how to get her to like you. But today, we're not talking about that like you stuff. We're showing you how to kick things up a notch and get her to fall in love fast. Like by Friday. Sound crazy? Crazy enough to work. And because you don't want her to become the one that got away, we're also sharing the #1 thing you can do that will turn her feelings of love into feelings of disgust. So, here are 10 ways to make any girl fall in love with you quickly, and the one thing that will ruin your chances. Number 10, get busy. Look, guys, before you even think of getting girls to fall in love with you, you have to love yourself first. And one of the most effective ways of doing that is by becoming the man you've always wanted to be. How do you do that? By keeping busy. Knock things off your list. Get in shape. Run errands. Get fat stacks. Pick up a couple of skills and always be getting better. In other words, if you want a girl to look at you like a guy with long-term potential, it's got to be clear to her that you know how to get stuff done and have your priorities straight. Number 9, know thyself. Great Greek philosopher and super OG Socrates once said this: "The unexamined life is not worth living." While there are plenty of aimless, surface-level guys out there that get girls to like them, most girls aren't going to fall in love with a guy who has no direction and doesn't know who he is. You know why? Because that's not a man. That there is a child. Girls want a man who's confident, sure of himself, and won't overwhelm her with his insecurities. And to really be that man, you've got to go deep, venture where other guys won't, and do what most guys are afraid to do. Constantly question your own thoughts and actions. Seek to understand why you are the way you are. It can be a hard path sometimes. It might even get a little dark. But by taking the time to learn who you really are, you'll become more confident and slowly become the real dude girls want to end up with. Number 8, be gentle, man. There's a long-standing myth that girls only date jerks, but it's simply not true. Women may flirt with jerks, they may laugh at their jokes, but in general, they don't plan on being attracted to jerks. Make sense? It's complicated. Anyway, as time goes on, most women in the jerk phase of their dating life eventually realize the obvious. Jerks are actually jerks. They think to themselves, why was I with that guy for so long? Was I really into that? Then they realize part of them does actually have a thing for jerks, but not the mean kind of jerk. No, they now see that the guy they want is the gentle jerk. The gentle jerk is the kind of guy most women can love. Sweet, caring, helpful, but unapologetic and bold. He's like an easygoing teammate who will stand by his girl's side, but also help her stiff-arm life. Because life is like playing football. You dodge a bunch of hazards while trying to reach your goal, and sometimes you get knocked down. So it's nice to have a teammate to pick you back up. And being that helpful, reliable advocate is the gentle jerk thing to do. Number 7, speak your mind. How many times has this happened to you? You and a girl are discussing which land mammal is the coolest when she has the audacity to say African elephants. You know for a fact that Capuchin monkeys are cooler. But do you tell her that? No! For some reason, you go entirely against your beliefs and agree with her even though you clearly prefer Capuchin monkeys to elephants. Look guys, confrontation is hard, but it's a part of life. If you find yourself avoiding it, that's something you need to work on. Because not only are you probably missing out on some fun discussion and debate, you're also signaling to a girl that you may be insecure and a pushover. 2 things that girls do not want out of a guy who's captured their heart. Number 6, get invited to parties. Here's one you haven't heard before. Why did the mushroom get invited to the party? Because he's a fun guy! Ha! If there's one thing every girl wants to have when she's with a guy, especially from a guy she's going to love, it's a good time. So what's the #1 thing you can do to make sure a girl's having fun when you're together? Be fun to be around. Girls love a guy who makes them laugh. And it's not just because every moment she spends with him is a surprise. Laughter releases the feel-good chemical dopamine into our brains. So you're literally brain hacking her love code when you make a girl laugh. So tell jokes, good or bad. Hone your comedic timing and go from being a fun guy at parties to being a fun Gus. Hey, you like Mentelligence, don't you? Well, stick around because we've got 5 more tips on how to make a girl fall head over heels in love with you. And the one way that will never, ever happen. All right, let's go. Number 5, take a break. Results may vary, but in 9 out of 10 successful long-term relationships, it's important to back off from time to time. Think of it like this. You've got a plant, and you really want to see it grow. You want this plant to last forever. So what do? You water it, and you water it. Until one day it's had enough. We've all been there. It's impossible not to be excited about someone new you're talking to. And what can end up happening is that you text too much or rush things, and you fail to nurture the relationship in the right ways during the early stages. Rookie move. move. So, how do you judo flip this into something positive? Make her fall in love with you. Be unavailable and stay busy. Find time for her, but don't always make time for her. By keeping a reasonable distance, you'll be able to keep your emotions in check and ride the slow, cool wave to long-term love. Number 4, don't be a suck. Have you ever been around someone who's constantly a Debbie Downer? Someone who always has something negative to say no matter what the situation? People like that suck the fun out of everything. They're fun sponges, and girls friggin' hate fun sponges. Remember, girls like fun. Being a negative Nancy all the time, you're only making everyone else miserable. So look on the bright side of life and try to find the good in every situation, especially when things don't work out. Because there are absolutely zero girls who want a guy who's constantly bringing the vibe down. And speaking of bringing down the vibe, be sure to avoid doing these other things that girls absolutely hate. Number 3, get in good. It's no secret. Girls love talking to friends and family about, well, everything. And that includes everything about you. So you end up in a situation like this. You've been seeing a girl for a while, and she definitely likes you. But she's not sure if she loves you. And one of the things that's hinging on is how you do with her friends and family. And while getting to know her family can be intimidating, it's also a great opportunity to get in good with those closest to your girl and seal the deal on love. Number 2, resist the urge. We live in an age where everyone is constantly bombarded with distractions. Buy this, eat here, look at this funny cat picture. Because of these incessant distractions, it can be hard to stay focused when you're talking with a girl. But that's no excuse. Even though it's no fault of your own, a girl can't fall in love with a guy who's just not really there. So if you're not listening to her, she's going to notice. If you want a girl to fall in love with you, you have to be attentive and actually acknowledge and hear what she's saying. Number 1, prepare for takeoff. It doesn't matter which phase of a relationship you're in. Physical contact is the number 1 way to get any girl to fall in love with you fast. So when you're on a date, initiate a light touch at first. If she's into you, it will give her butterflies. It's a great way to flirt. Because on top of an emotional connection, girls need a physical connection with their partner. So start slow and escalate things gradually until she gives you the all clear. And by the time the countdown starts, she'll be ready to blast off just as much as you. You didn't ask, but we still delivered. Here's the number 1 thing you can do to make any girl immediately think twice about you. If there's one way to stop love in its tracks, it's by sending unsolicited pictures of, Look, the internet is already a minefield for girls, and you probably already know this. But in case you're on the fence, sending a pic of anything but your face isn't going to win a girl's heart. If anything, she'll laugh at it, block you, and show all her friends. Not to mention, you're only setting yourself up for embarrassment if you do these things. It could have big consequences for your social life, and will 100% close the door on love. Those are our 10 tips to make any girl fall in love with you fast, and the one thing you don't want to do. Oh, and while you're here, why not check out these other powerful videos?